Hello, good evening, good night, wherever you're watching me from. This is Sunday, the Unstoppable Woman. We do have a show called The Unstoppable You, but this is the Unstoppable Woman, who is me, Sunday. And I'm saying I am unstoppable. As you can read from the banner behind, I am unstoppable. And that also shows you that you can be unstoppable if you choose to. And today I'm going to talk about why purpose outstand motivation. And many times, purpose is the reason why you do something. It is why you're doing that thing. The motivation is something that excites you in doing it, and it can be temporary. It can be short time. It can be triggered by emotions, by excitement, by events. Something happened. Maybe it was your birthday. You're so excited, and you decide to do something. And maybe someone did something very nice to you, and you decide to do something. It is temporary. It goes off. If you do something because of motivation, you may fall easily because the motivation is temporary. There are moments you don't feel like it. But when you have purpose, it doesn't matter whether it is easy, it is tough, whether there's results, there's no results. It is the roots of why you're doing what you're doing. And that brings me to why I started up my online business. I actually started this online business way back when I was in Uganda, when I was a refugee. But did I get it that time? No. I got this online business when I was way back in South Sudan. I was working, and I've been sharing my story on how I became a refugee twice. But let me just share for people who are joining for the very first time. Maybe I grew up in the refugee camp, and I grew up without my parents. I lost them during that moment when I was still younger. So most time I grew up with different people, others who are relative and some who are not relative. That helped us to grow, me mostly and my brother and my other sibling also. And most time has not been so easy. I did not have this normal child growing up life where sometimes you refuse to do something. No, I did not have that. I grew up strong right from childhood. I grew up knowing everything, doing cooking, doing difficult works. I did it. And it's not because I was forced to, but because I want to survive. I want to have a place, because if you don't do that, most places you'll be chased away. So I just want to do so that I can be able to live, so I can be able to survive. So there are moments when I did not have food. When I reached high school, I was sponsored by UNHCR. When I reached high school, you could see students coming from school. They could go with Ginat Pest or Granite Pest. They could go with a lot of things, spices, so many things. Most times I go with none. There are moments I could go with maybe a half kilo of sugar, and sometimes none of it. Sometimes it's not soap. Maybe I go with a half bar of soap, and that finishes within short time. We stay in the school for 3 months. There were moments where I don't have enough food. My body was shaking. And that was evident when my knees lost its strength. I couldn't walk. My legs became paralyzed. And the doctors couldn't find out what exactly was it. They said I was lacking vitamin B, vitamin what vitamin was missing out in my body. It's because I did not have enough nutrients in my body. Food was a challenge to get. If you get it, that is really, there were moments in the school where the food was given very small, and I could put much salt in my soup so that it could give me the thirst to drink more water. So I decided in those moments, I prayed. The only thing I had that time was just God. I clinged into Jesus. I said, if He's still in the process of changing people's life, He should just put me in the list and use me as a specimen, that to show that He's still working, to show that He still can change lives, because I had nothing, I had no one. People could say all kind of words they want to say on me. No one else could come and defend me. No one would say anything about me because no one stands for me. I'm just anybody can say anything at any time, and I will just hold it or I cry. That is it. I promised myself that time. The only person I could talk to, I couldn't share anything with anyone. The only person I could talk to is just God. I don't know whether he exists or not, but I knew that he was listening to me. There are moments I wrote a letter to God. I wrote two letters. I wrote one letter to my dad and one letter to my late dad. He was late that time. I knew very well he was late, but I had something that I wanted to share with him. Things that were really intimate to me. I wanted to share my heart, but there was no one. I wrote a letter to God and I wrote one to my late dad. I put those letters in my book, and I wanted it to disappear, but never disappeared. It was there. That time I spoke to myself, if God will give me a chance to have a family, I will love my family so much. I will create it a heaven. It doesn't matter how it will be. I wanted to create it a heaven for me. So I grew up, and yeah, I also promised myself I wanted my children not to face the life I went through. I did not want them to not have food. I said to myself, my home will be having plenty of food because I suffered hunger so much. I really suffered hunger so much that I did not know what to say. I don't know who to talk to. It was hard, but it made me who I am today. There was so many things lacking, and I did not want my children to go through that. So when I finished high school, I went back to South Sudan and I got job. I married. I started having children, and then there was war in my country, and people moved their families to the neighboring countries. Some people went back to be a refugee. Me, I did not want to be a refugee for the second time because it was really hard. It was really hard. The memories became fresh in my mind, but I had no chance. I just asked my husband to go and with our children. So he went to Uganda and I remained behind. Life became so hard that I had to choose either my life or became a refugee for the second time. So I became a refugee for the second time. But before that happened, God showed me this online business. But I was so skeptical, and I thought my job was enough. I never knew something was going to happen in the future. But remember, I had that vision to really change my life. I wanted to rewrite my story. I wanted my story not to be recognizable. And that was, even though things were not happening in the speed I really wanted, but I just desired. I said, I knew one day God will just do something. I don't know how fast he's going to do it, how slow, but I knew that he was going to do something in my life. So I I became a refugee for the second time. I had some savings. And remember, life became worse than what was before. Because before I was working, I had my house, I had things were a little bit okay. I was able to help people here and there, few people. It was not so bad. But when I became a refugee, it became so worse. But should I let it destroy me? No. Remember, I have that purpose to change my life. So I went back to my emails and I got this business. I asked the person I got this business from if I was able to do the business. I started. I started because not because I wanted money that time, but my reason for starting was way more than the temporary money. My reason for starting is that I wanted to rewrite my story. I wanted to have more time with my children. There was so many reasons why I started this business. One day, when I was back in South Sudan and my children were in Uganda, I could come and visit them within 3 or 6 months sometimes. And this was very, very difficult. Until one day, my daughter asked me how much she can pay me so that she can be able to play with me for a long time. And that hurt me so much. adding to my desire for change, I started this online business with real purpose and with a long term goal, not just a short term. Because there are moments in Uganda where I had to choose whether to go and buy food for myself or to buy data. I had to choose. So I could go and buy data to watch the webinar, to watch the training, sometimes to go live. I could go live with people in USA, in Canada, some in different African countries. Sometimes my internet could go off in the middle of my live stream. I never gave up. My camera was so bad. I still did not get the best one, but this one is far better than what I was having before. People could mock me online, but I never gave up because they did not know why I started. My why was more stronger and is still more stronger than how can I be successful in this online space. I just knew I got the rightful place because there was training, there's a system in place, and the business time of operation was longer than way more than my age. This is what I was looking for. So I just committed myself into learning. There are moments that I was not having capital to put my operational cost to improve on my business. I just was having that desire to sustain it. I never stopped my business. I could go live. I could do even if it was a bad day. If I don't go live, I could just post. There are moments I could cry myself and want it really. I want success so much badly, but I couldn't. I could have given up, but I never gave up. Even that moment when I couldn't see any results in my business, I never gave up because I knew I was already in the rightful business. When I moved to Australia, this is one of the amazing part that I love with this business because it was I just saw this right from the time I started. It's a global business, so I had nothing much to change. I just changed my location and I continued with my business. The skills that I learned in this business helped me to get job that help us to set up when we are starting here in a new country. I know for people who came new, maybe for those ones who came long time, maybe you forgot the experience, but I believe you still remember. When we came here, we had nothing. We just came with our little bags with the very few things inside. But when we came here, people helped us. Some people helped us. Some organizations helped us. But it was not everything. There are still something that were really so hard for us, like getting transport, sometimes carrying the food. I could carry things on my head and come home because I have a large family. I have 4 children, and my husband and me, we are six. Sometimes carrying those fruits, juice, and all, it is so heavy. I could put it on my head. When I'm carrying those things in my head, I could pray and say, God, I know you will change my story one day. I know you will change, you will write my story. I knew that it cannot only change when even if I have a good job, it won't change to what I wanted because the job will only pay the bills, will help me pay the bills because I worked for 1 year and almost 5 months. It helped me pay the bills. But the good thing that I went back to school when I came here 2025 because we came here in 2024 August. So 2024 December, that was when I got my first job. And then 2025, my strategy was to go back to school. So I went to school the whole of 2025. I was studying, though I was running my business here and there, but I was studying. That was the goal for that year. So the moment that I was supposed to work on my business was when something happened in my place of work, and then I just left it. So but I never stopped running my business because my why, my purpose, why I started this business is way bigger and way deeper than how I can be successful. I already know the how. I already have the system in place. I have training. I have mentors. I have coaches. I have everything. I just need to hold on to my why. So many people who start new things or something because of how to be successful, most of them lose or quit when things become hard. But when you know your why you started up something, even if you don't get results, you still go to find out how you'll be successful. So your why will push you to the how. The why will give you how you'll be successful. The why gives you the mission on the mission why you started this, why you started what you started. So motivations are temporary, but purpose creates commitment. Purpose create the commitment why you started this, why you started. Motivation is the feeling. Some days you feel inspired, excited, and ready to take action, but some days that will not be there. Some days you feel tired, sometimes you feel exhausted, sometimes you feel uncertain, sometimes you feel afraid. But purpose is deeper than just feeling. Purpose reminds you why you started. Like many times when I wanted to give up, it reminded me why I started. It reminded me back the time when I was in the refugee camp where we could just eat leaves, where we did not have food, where I did not have place to eat, where we stayed 2 good weeks without taking breakfast, without eating anything, and we survived. I even don't know how. If you ask me how, I don't know. That was only God, and I don't know how He did it, but He did it anyway. 2 good weeks, me and my follower, we never ate anything, and we survived. We did not sleep, we did not get sick, we did not get weak. We were playing and doing everything, but never ate anything for 2 good weeks until someone came and helped us after 2 weeks with 1,000 Ugandan cedis. That 1,000 Ugandan cedis is less than $1, but it helped us for 10 good days. So when I want to give up, it reminds me of those days when I did not have soap to wash my panty when I was having my monthly period. I did not have, my God, it brings up those memories fresh. And then I looked at my children because I did not want them to go through that challenge. I keep myself pushing. Your why will tell you or will show you who you're building for, what you want to, who you want to impact with what you're doing. So there are moments when I feel like I'm tired. I don't want to do it. I do not want to continue. But when I remember my purpose, why I started this, I wanted to change my life. I wanted to rewrite my story. And then I keep going. I keep going. Your why gives you direction. For example, there are things that you could change. So if you started because of how you want to be successful, because the how changes, things change. Now with the era of AI, digitalization, things change. How things were done 2 years ago is completely different now. If you rely on how, you will completely mess up. But why you started gives you direction. It gives you uh, uh, it gives you the reason or the value that you will get out of it. But if you ask yourself, how can I succeed? How can I make more money? You should ask yourself, why do I need to make more money? Who are those people that I need to impact? What am I going to do with it? You see, that gives you a compass direction. It gives you where you're leading. So it helps you make better decisions and stay focused when distraction comes, because distraction will surely come. It will come. So, what is the deeper reason why you're building the life you dream about? Is it just you want to create legacy? Do you want to impact people? Do you want to rewrite your story? Or you want to live a better life? Or it is both. It could be also a combination of so many things. You want to live a better life, you want to give a legacy for your children, and so many things. You wanted to impact lives. So many reasons. So I started because I wanted to rewrite my story and I wanted my children to live a better life. But it became more than that. It became wider because it also it now gives me why I am created, why I'm here. My being here is to impact lives, is to change lives, is to help others, is to glorify God, and everything I do glorifies God. So that becomes also my why. I wanted to impact lives in a very positive way. Each day, if I would change the life of one person through my inspiration, maybe through my stories, maybe through my videos, maybe through my live stream, maybe through my post, maybe through my reels or stories, I would really be grateful. Like just 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, yeah, we had a live stream, which tomorrow we are also going to have a live stream with a group of women, and I shared my story. Oh my God, so many people were inspired with my story, and some of them remembered how they lived and how their life got changed, and where they came from. It gave them strong why they should continue, because when you remember where you came from, our teacher used to tell us this, that if you remember where you came from, you will know where you're going. So if your purpose without action remains a dream. Your purpose must become a daily action. It has to lead you to something you're doing daily. Is it leading? Because every small step can add up to everything. You don't have to do a big thing once. You can get exhausted, you can give up. But if you break it into smaller bites, like what am I learning today? And maybe showing up consistently. Maybe if it is losing weight, you need to be doing exercise every single day. If it is about building relationship, observing people, or improving your skills, you show up every single day. So take one step towards that purpose that you want to change in your life. So small actions repeatedly, consistently can create a great transformation in your life. So I don't know what your purpose is. If you are, I work, I help people build up a business online. And many times, most times in a day, I have conversation with more than 20 people who wanted to start the business. But when I ask them, why do you want to start the business? Most of them really, they have reasons. I want to start a business because I want to have more time with my family. And I said, I wanted to plan for my retirement. Others, they have their different reasons. So I don't know why you're doing what you're doing. It doesn't have to be an online business. Whatever that you're doing, know your why and understand your why properly. I was in business. There was a business gather and grow in USA, and I attended it. I attended online and I attended the virtual session, and there was someone who said that if your why does not make you cry, it is still not strong enough. You remember, like when I was just sharing with you how I lost my legs got paralyzed, how I did not have enough food, how I did not have soap to bathe for bathing, for washing my even underwear. It's something that gives me, it takes me back and gives me purpose and why I truly need a change in my life. So I don't know what you're doing right now, what is your purpose, but this is for you to remember that a time when I felt overwhelmed and wondered if this journey was worth it. But when I remember why I started, I remember the people I wanted to impact: my children, my family, my the body of Christ. I have a work in the work of God. This is one thing that is in my heart. And I wanted to create the purpose behind the vision. That reminds me so much. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is a vision, where there is no vision, my people perish. So if you have a vision, your vision is your why you doing what you're doing. I always love this verse, Habakkuk 2:2. It says that write down the vision. It may not be there yet, but write it down because that is your compass direction. When you have no vision, challenges can easily stop you. But when you have the vision, it's clear, challenges come and they become part of your journey. They become the reason why you will not be able to, why you should not be able to quit. So if you're relying on motivations are just temporary. Motivation can change anytime because they are about your feeling, they are about how you're feeling. But if you're having a purpose, your why, it gives you direction, it gives you clarity, it gives you the desire to learn more. So I really want to say, uh, find your why in anything that you do. Find your why you want to do it. And if you wanted to find something flexible, we are offering a free training online on how everyday people, parents, teachers, nurses, doctors, lawyers, whoever desire to have more time with their family, with their loved ones, or with themselves to do what matters most, and at the same time be able to create income. I invite you to our free training where we help you understand how to be able to create income online and create the lifestyle that you truly desire with our proven system. If you wanted to know more, message me for more information and I'll share with you. Otherwise, I wanted to say have a good night. God bless you. And if you'll be watching the replay, please let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching even right now, let me know where you're watching from, and I'll be very happy to send you my heart. And if you're in Australia, I just want to say have a good night and God bless you. Have a beautiful time.